Hi everyone, I'm Maya Bird Murphy of Chicago Mobile Makers, and I'm excited to be here with Design Milk for DMTV Milkshake. I'm an architectural designer and educator in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm the founder and executive director of Chicago Mobile Makers, which is a nonprofit organization that offers free and low-cost youth workshops that have to do with design thinking, problem solving, design and architecture topics. So I have a bowl here and I've been given some questions to answer. So I will pick them at random. Okay, so the first one says, what architectural or urban design question are you most interested in investigating and answering right now? I think our most pressing question right now has to do with equity and sustainability. So I believe that we really need to try figuring out how to make affordable, sustainable and thriving communities in our cities. And that's really important because a lot of people are moving out of our cities because they're not affordable anymore. There's gentrification. So we need to figure out how we can have cities that invite everyone of all races, of all income levels to live happily. Next question. How did growing up in Oak Park, where Frank Lloyd Wright had his studio, shape how you thought about architecture? So this one's kind of hard for me because I'm not really sure how much influenced me really. I'm sure that, subconsciously, Frank Lloyd Wright has influenced me a lot, but I would not say that he's the reason that I went into architecture school. But I do think that the reason was that I was exposed to architecture really, really early. So Frank Lloyd Wright is a huge deal here. It was talked about basically from my birth. It's a really big deal. We would always see people on walking tours. So definitely I knew about architecture really young. I didn't really need someone to tell me about it because I was just automatically surrounded by it. So that definitely had a huge influence when I was growing up and going through school and trying to figure out what I wanted to do as a career. And I always knew that I was creative. I knew that I wanted to do some kind of design, and then I actually went to a high school architecture camp, and that's how I finally figured out that I wanted to do architecture. Next question. What's the most valuable shift in thinking that Chicago Mobile Makers provokes in the students who participate in the project? So I think that the most valuable shift in thinking is the fact that students are learning that they have a voice when it comes to their communities. So I think what the greatest thing to see during workshops is when students realize that they have agency to change and they have the power to voice their concerns. So for instance, we did a workshop close to this kind of large and problematic intersection where Sears used to be and then left, and so then a lot of the storefronts left with it. And we asked the students what they would do in that intersection because they're constantly interacting with it. They're driving through it to get to school, they're walking through it, they're taking the bus through it. And so we decided that it was really important to hear what they would propose for that intersection, and their proposals made them feel like they had a voice in their community and they could actually make that change and be heard. So that was a great part of it. What's been the most meaningful experience you've had with a student through Chicago Mobile Makers? So I think there are a lot of meaningful moments, but I think one of the most meaningful experiences is when there's a really shy kid in the class and you're not totally sure if you're getting to them, you're not sure if they're having, a good time, and you try everything you can to get them engaged, but they're not totally engaging like the other students. It's really, really amazing to see that shy student open up later, and usually it happens during the final presentations, because we always do a final presentation at the end where they get to propose their neighborhood change. So it's really amazing to see that person who you weren't sure if you were getting to them or not. It's really amazing to see them kind of blossom at that final presentation and really open up and share their thoughts and their feelings about their own neighborhood and how they would make the change that they want to see. What is your biggest architecture-centric hope for 2021? I think that I want to see more investment in our most disinvested communities. So we've seen in Chicago a little bit of that in 2020, where there have been some initiatives to start building and development in our south and west sides, which has been amazing. But I hope that this trend continues, and more architecture firms are looking for socially conscious work, and that developers are looking to invest in our communities on the south and west side, because I think that's the only way that Chicago and all of our cities are going to be equitable and safe and affordable places to live in the future. And hopefully we're also putting sustainability in the front of mind as well, to make this city a place of opportunity and a place where people are able to thrive. How would you like to see Chicago Mobile Makers grow? So I have a lot of big dreams for Chicago Mobile Makers. We actually just finished one of those big goals. We just converted a USPS mail truck into a mobile design studio that holds design materials, construction tools, digital fabrication tools. We have a 3D printer in there. There are solar panels on the roof, and it's totally self-powered, a bunch of outlets. So that was kind of our first step. And then what we would like to do next is build a permanent space, because we don't have a permanent space right now. We always go to the students. So we'll drive to the school or to the organization and hold our workshops there, but we would love to be able to also host students where they're coming to our place, and I've been calling it a hub, and it's this place that becomes a gallery, a shop, or for working, a place where you can gather with community, and then we have these kind of repeat students coming back for more and more lessons, because we'll have levels of lessons. So let's say you want to master 3D printing. Well, you could come and take level 1, 2, and 3, and then that means that you're coming back to us and you're meeting other students, and we're creating this community where kids, like-minded kids, can come and create things. So that is the hope, and that is all of my questions. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.